Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Hopefully, everybody's doing well, um, keeping warm, and especially if you're in Canada. So, today I want to talk about questioning. How important it is to question everything. And I think some of the most important questions we can ask ourselves is what is real or what is true. And when we leave ourselves with questions like that, what is, and like I say, when we ask ourselves a question like this, we open up to possibilities. So let's say before we had a belief, an idea, and then all of a sudden we question that idea or belief. We are now much more open to different possibilities. And when we are open to possibilities, we're, in a sense, very much freer than we were before. And the magic here is that possibilities, they open up and awaken our imagination. We are free to explore, and this exploration leads us to find new things. And in a world that's constantly changing, as we all notice right now, how fundamentally our society and our world are being changed on a very, perhaps not daily basis, but in a sense, yes, a very daily basis, right? And there are some people that would not want us to question anything, because these people that do not want us to question already have answers for us. And these answers are usually very absolute. And these same people that have answers to these questions are able to have an advantage, because if they can convince us that they have the answers, they can now tell us how we should live. They could come up with some solutions, sometimes in a form of products or belief systems. And we have to be very, very careful to believe the people that are telling us what is real and what is not. We have to be very careful, because these people might just have an agenda. And it's important to keep that in mind, because there's people out there that just want us to follow what they say and to fit in their box. So as this becomes apparent, I can't stop thinking about how this applies with religions, government, society, or even criminals. So in the past, religions have told us that members of other religions were evil, and then they justified going to war, the holy wars that they used to have, because evil people need to be killed. And the governments have followed suit, and instead of saying that the evil people are from another religion, well, they're from another government. And now these people are a threat to us somehow. And society does the same thing. They tell us that how other people live, or what other people believe, they're wrong, and they're threatening the fabric of society, so they need to be stopped. And then we start censoring, we start to belittle, we start to ridicule. And obviously the people that are pointing at these people for having, let's say, alternative views, they could point towards them to say that they are the root of the societal problems that we experience. So, if we can start questioning these people that tell us how to view things, we can start to say, well, perhaps these other people in different religions are not necessarily our enemies, that other people that live in different countries are not a threat to us, that these people in society that are telling us there's another way to live are not responsible for the problems within society. So people should, in a sense, start following their own cookie trail or their own thought process, and to question what these people are telling us, because otherwise we might be just tricked into believing what other people want us to believe. So what's right for you might not be what is right for me. And people at the end, I believe this is a very important part, is that we should be self-governing ourselves. We don't need other people to tell us what we should be doing. And we need to do what feels right to us. And once we start doing that, then we become the captain of our own ship. And all of this happens because we are starting to question what other people are telling us. So, like, if we start questioning ourselves, what do I really want? What should I do? Who am I? When we start questioning these things and asking ourselves the question, often magic happens when we start doing that. I can't list how many times that this has happened to me, where I've asked myself a question and eventually I got the answer not long after. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time before the answer comes up, but it's absolutely amazing how many times that I asked myself a question and then eventually an answer came up within myself. And at first for me it was like I wanted to know the truth. And eventually, once that I started pursuing or getting the answers of what is the truth, then I started asking, what do I really want now? And then it switched. The answer switched to, well, I want to be happy. And when I asked it a little bit later down the road again, it was that I wanted to live a meaningful life. So instead of having one answer to the question, many answers came. And so very often, I don't know why we are this way, but we believe things to be absolute, and it's either this or that. Well, how about that it is this and that? How about that? So it's not that I simply want to know the truth and I don't care about being happy. It's that I want to know the truth and be happy and live a meaningful life. And again, when we continuously ask ourselves these questions, we remain open, and we are in a neutral state. And we are free when we are in a neutral state. And when we're in a neutral state, we are not so easily conned or manipulated, because we remain open. When somebody tells us how it is, then if we are open and neutral, then we can say, well, maybe. And I hope that people are starting to question more what the fabric of reality is, who's really in charge, what we're here for, what is the right thing to do. Because we have had so many people tell us the answers to these things. And often these people, again, they have agendas. They don't really care about you being happy or following your own way and being a captain of your own ship, but they want to tell you what to do in life. And I guess that's related, this is related to my last video, where we need to make sure that we determine what is spiritual to us and what is true to us and what is a meaningful life to us. Because we don't want to be living somebody else's life. Because in a sense, we are not that person. There's in the spiritual world, we often hear, we are you, I am you, you are me, and that is absolutely true. But it doesn't mean that you need to copy or need to live exactly how other people are living. And I think that's one of my main messages here, is that if we can start going our own direction and feel it and doing what feels right to us, that we can live a much better life than if we start, or if we continue, I should say, to listen to other people and what they have to say about how we should be living. Because we've tried this many times, where we've tried to follow the footsteps of somebody else. And in a sense, sometimes it does help us to find meaning and to find joy. But so often, no. And if it does feel good and you want to continue on following somebody else's footsteps, then go. Do that. But don't feel obligated. Don't feel that this is the only way. So what do you think? What are the core beliefs? What are the questions? What are the answers that come out of the questions? And again, to remain open and not in a continuous questioning stage, but to ask a question and then be open to answers. And then eventually down the road you start questioning again, is this meant for me? So is this job that I'm doing right now, is it going to be what I need to do the rest of my life? Or perhaps eventually you'll say, nah, this job felt good for a while and now it no longer does, and I need to find something else. And then we're free again to pursue a new way of living, or a new thing to do. So thank you for listening. I've got some plans to start releasing some programs. Some of them are mostly going to be around healing, about a peace of mind, and gain confidence, and a couple more that I have and that I'm working on. So once that I do start putting these things together, I'm going to start updating a little bit on the progress and how things are going. So thank you for listening. I appreciate you. You're loved. You're amazing. And until next time.